Hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC Chibi. So I just wanted to make this little random video. You guys have seen I like to do tier lists from time to time, once in a blue moon. Also feel free to check out the song that I got posted in the background. Not too low for anyone. But yeah, so Kizzy K made a tier list about goddamn controllers. I made one before, feel free to check one out. It's on my channel up somewhere. But I thought immediately this shit is trash, bro. For the and somebody's asking me, does this guy play like analog stick or something? It's like, my man, here's where I'm tripping, right? To me, I've heard the PS4 pad is really good. Like, I have to agree, it's not bad. As an analog stick player, it's pretty decent. So I put that shit as trash, but he put the 360 pad, notorious for a terrible D-pad, as like S. I'm like, oh, bro, you're capping. You're capping. But I use this for fighting use, not in general. So again, remember, guys, feel free to go to my channel. Go to, I have in here, you know, if it exists, there's a tier list for everything. That's where this is gonna belong, this category right here. And I did one just for regular controllers, just for regular gaming. Having a controller for fighting games, having one for regular gaming is a completely different, you know, thing. And I was like, fuck it, let's go ahead and make a tier list for that shit. I don't play sticks, so I could never make a stick tier list, so apologies on that. I own one motherfucking fight stick. So yeah, let's go controller, or controllers, PvP. I don't know what that means. Every Nintendo controller tier list, pro controllers. Oh shit, actually, you know, I might do that one. Video game controller? I'm curious, because there's a bunch, it's hard to see which one it is. Let's see what these are. What the hell has this got to do with control? What? Let's see. Ooh, you know, okay, I'll just this one. That's gonna be a different video. Oh damn, we got all the controllers. Oh shit, bet. You know what? I like this one actually. This has all the controllers. Bet. I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. Okay, cool. So we'll stick with this one.
I like that.
So first off, let's start what's in an inoffensive controller, in my opinion. I put this as S tier, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in my controller, because it is classic. It's really nice. The only thing about it, I guess, is that like the edges. I don't want to repeat anything I talked about in that video, right? But I'm not a D-pad player, so yeah. So mention this is from an analog stick player's perspective, right? Probably one of the best analog stick players on the planet. But oddly, I gotta say, like, I mean. Actually, it's C because, like, bro, I don't know what fighting game you're playing that only uses 2 buttons, so obviously you're inherently limited, but it's a solid, like, C. I think it's not that bad. Like, anyone knows I like the SNES, or the NES controllers, really nice and clean. If we want to go a step above that, SNES is god, like, it's such a good controller, bro. Like, not even bad for fighting. Like, I could reasonably see someone playing old school Street Fighter 2 on this bitch, like Cap. Like, D-pads are really nice, the buttons, you got your 6 buttons, so you're solid. Nothing super crazy, right? Also, is there a way to repeat this? No, there is the way to. Oh, you know what? Let's put this one. Anyway, all right, get enough distractions. But yeah, so I give it a B. Okay, let's go to a weird one right here. Nunchuck control. I've never played this for fighting games, but I did do it for Tatsunoko versus Capcom, and it's fine. It's really playable for some reason. Check out my mouth. All right, fine. Anyways, I was saying. The funny thing, okay, here's the thing about playing fighting games on the Wii. Like, one of 2 options. They make somehow the wiggles work with it, or it's like, oh, here, fuck it, whatever. A handful of games work fine. Like, I'll say this much for sure. If you're like a D-pad player, you're fucked. Like, this is low tier shit. It's trash. I'm an analog stick player. As you guys can see, that means I have 2 buttons here, A and B. So I would say for like your TVCs, MVCs, solid. You're trying to play something like Street Fighter, that shit is not happening on that controller. And then one of the hardest things, oh, they got Guilty Gear Accent Core. Bro, that shit is busted. Like, if we're talking like Guilty Gear Accent Core, S tier. Bro, you could do whole ass hard execution moves on a goddamn wiggle stick. I do plan on making a video of doing some of the hardest stuff. Maybe even something you can't do with, like, say, what else I do to the name? Not Venom, Zato. You know, like, it's just broken. Absolutely broken. For most fighting games, I'd say fairly fine. I broke the skin on the top of my mouth. That's what happened. I don't know how. I'm like eating a lollipop here. I don't know how I did that. Anyways. Next controller, a Game Boy controller. I don't know. Why? I get. You know what? I was like, should I put it at D? Because I don't think it's bad. See, because like it's just whatever. You know what? Everything is like, I don't think they're necessarily bad, but it's just like, why? Probably this stuff. Because again, what fighting games are you really playing? You're not trying to play these, and none of these are bad controls in my opinion. They feel great. If anything, you're probably the best one so far. You. There we go. Ooh, is it the 3DS? Oh, I guess you go right here. Anything else that's in that similar format? Oh, you are kind of basically the same thing. Nothing too crazy. Or which one of these is with the L1 R1? I'm assuming this one, maybe. No, whatever. Hopefully they have it in here. Enough of bad or mediocre controllers. This is the second one, I'm not mistaken, right? Or did he have... Oh my god, why are there so many DS controls here? What the hell? Oh my god. Restart. Yeah, just loop it. I don't know what this is. We're not touching that. What control is this? Bro, I can't change anything. I put it here. But the Sega Genesis control, I don't know if it's the main one I played. But the Dreamcast one? That control is really fucking good for fighting games, bro. On God, it's super good. Super, super, super good. Honestly, I'm a big fan, even as someone who doesn't play D-pad. So yeah, that's the Sega one. The PSP, this is for me personally. Again, it's because I'm not a D-pad player. Never been a big fan of playing fighting games on the PSP or even the Vita, personally. The analog stick's just too small. And this one, oddly, I think I like the PSPs more. I've just never been a big fan of playing them on these. If anything, I'm tempted to put them down here and see, but they're fine. I could play casually, right? But just, this is just a personal me thing. But I'm like, oh yeah, Vita. And then it never occurred to me like, oh dude, I'm so used to the way the analogs are on a bigger controller. So yeah, just good luck seeing me play fighting games on a Vita or maybe a PSP, but not really a Vita. Like, just no. Now the Dreamcast controller, dude, I think this thing's kind of ass, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. For fighting games, this thing is kind of ass, bro. I don't see myself playing on that shit. Another one that I don't think is that great, obviously, super notorious, but people might think is the 360 controller. Remember, I'm an analog stick player. I think the analog is fine. The D-pad is just trash. Even I use it as a glorified dash button. And it gets the job done at 360. It's not the worst thing. It's not great either. Doesn't have the best tactile feedback. But for me, my biggest problem, as you guys might notice with a lot of the controllers, is because, again, I am a certain type of fighting game player. Like, I need my analog stick to be in the PlayStation position. It's just what it is. Also, another N64 controls just trash. I mentioned before, I think that's one of the worst controls of all time. Another controller, this is not good for fighting games. Like the Wii U, no, this is ass, bro. It's not peak ass, but it's ass, bro. I don't know who the fuck's playing fighting games on the Wii. I actually like the Duke controller. I know this might be weird. I really do like it. Not the greatest for fighting games though. Also, kind of another controller we never. Same reason. Switch controls. I mean, they're probably the most playable out of a lot of these. Anything, whatever. But same problem as I mentioned before, but the buttons feel a lot closer and easier to do stuff. Using this thing as a D-pad is okay, not bad, but it's just it doesn't. I need a real D-pad. Oh, another control that's not great for fighting games is easily the GameCube one. The analog's actually pretty okay. I like that it has the divots. That's really good. The D-pad feels a bit out the way, but not bad. A bit too small. And then the real problem to me is the layout. The layout is awful. Like I even been a Third Strike forum for the Switch, and even people are like, bro, how the hell do you play Street Fighter on a goddamn game control? Because you don't have all 6 buttons. See, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or you do, but it's in such a weird, like, it's just no, just no. I'd rather play on an Xbox control. If anything, I want to put it down here. But it's like if you're not trying to play hardcore, you're fine. Anything, you know what? I'll put you here. And lastly, let's see. I like the Xbox. The Xbox is not bad. The Xbox One series, it's kind of the same thing. I know there's a difference, but I think they're fine. I think they definitely improved the D-pad. The analog stick feels great. But again, the only thing I will say is, like, it's the same thing why I give gripes with the 360. I think this is just a much more comfortable controller. But I'll put it at B. Like, it's a great comfort controller. The thing is, I cannot play high level. I mean, I can't even with either this one, but I'll put it up just because it's comfortable. Is that position is not where I naturally rest to play goddamn analog stick. It's just not built for my hand, right? It's just purely ergonomics. It be what it be. Heck, I'm tempted to put the Wii up higher, but I mean, who the fuck's trying to put a Wii controller higher? You know what? Yeah, we'll just put you here, just because why not? I'm gonna put an Xbox controller up here. Why the fuck not? Now, lastly, this one. Actually, this one's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, the Switch Pro controller really does. It is pretty nice. I don't know what it is. It's just a nice controller, and it's pretty good. I don't know why the buttons, especially the back buttons, feel even better for fighting games than Xbox, if that makes sense. Like, no, functionally they feel better, but the Xbox ones just feel better. I don't know if I'm repeating myself here, but... And then let's go the PS1 control. I mean, it's inoffensive. It's a PS1 control, no real problem. I mean, I don't know which one's the PS2 control. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I consider them, I mean, heck, they're right here, actually. You know, PS1 control. I mean, for comfort, I had to give it to the Xbox One, honestly. Yeah, I think this is how I personally feel comfortable. PS2 controller. I mean, the PS2 and PS1 controller don't feel that different to me. And then, obviously, anyone knows me knows I love the PS3 controller. I think like, to me, its comfort level for the hand is top tier. I love the way the analog stick and the D-pad are. I don't think they're peak, if I'm being honest. Oddly enough, I would say the D-pad and analog stick are better for fighting games for me. Like, the D-pad is objectively better. Everyone who knows who's been in the FGC long enough knows that the D-pad on the PS4 is pretty fucking good. And as an analog stick player, I even gotta say, yeah, the analogs aren't that bad, but it does have a problem with drift and being inaccurate, which is something the PS3 doesn't. I feel the PS3's problem is it's a bit too, like, it's too round. I like to follow the gate, as some people would like to say it. And in PS4, it's easier because you don't have as much travel distance as the PS3. But I do love everything else about the analog. And the D-pad, to me, wasn't as big a problem as the PS4. Because it has, like, things that smooth it out. Like, if you play D-pad, PS4 is peak because it's really easy on your thumb, whereas PS3 and even PS2, PS1, especially PS1, was not easy on your thumb. Hell no. PS3 wasn't that much better, and PS4 is like all mad comfort. And we don't have it here currently, but there's the PS5 control. Man, is there a way for me to find that, low-key? Hold up. It seems I can't find it, so fuck it. This is what we see currently. We'll get back to the video that I have up still. Now, the PS5 control, that shit's trash, bro. I don't know how the fuck he has it in 8. Anyone who knows me, you guys can literally go check out my channel. I have a whole video discussing about how the PS5 controller is trash. And long story short, for those of you who don't know, the PS5 control is not very well liked in the FGC. The D-pad, for those who don't know, the reason people love the D-pad is because of its directional. You're very precise. The PS5 does not have that. It's way too stuck out. The buttons are weird. You know, it's comfortable. And here's the fucked up part about it. The PS5 controller is one of my favorite, most comfortable controllers, but I'm just not a fan of it as a competitor. I don't like anything about the buttons, the D-pad, and especially the analog stick. The analog stick is way too sensitive. This bitch, trash. Trash. You couldn't catch me dead playing a PS5 controller, bro. I've literally raged at using this shit, bro. Playing PS5 Guilty Gear Strive is just a no-go. With the extra delay and that ass water excuse of a controller, no. The amount of times I've accidentally jumped and that never happens to me is insane with this controller. Omega trash. Absolute garbage. You couldn't catch me dead playing on that shit. And another one is, oh, the Victrix Pro. Okay, so let's put the Victrix Pro on. I'd give it like an A. It is a solid, okay controller. It's not the most comfortable, so barely above a B. And I mean, I'm gonna do a review for these controllers I'm mentioning next, right? And it just doesn't feel that oh, we don't have it here. It's the Mad Catz control. Holy shit. If you guys don't know, let me show you guys real quick. Oh my god. Look at how long this shit takes. Yes, right here. The Street Fighter 5 Mad Catz pad. Oh, look, you got.
Leghead. Did your video finish?
No. I'm still eating my candy. Anyways, I want to do other pads. If I don't touch the pad, it's because I haven't done it. So I haven't touched this pad, so I can't say much. I mean, I'm not a D-pad player, so. But yeah, this is the Mad Catz Fighting Pad Pro. Personally, this is my controller of choice. Heck, if those of you notice, my logo is literally that. But I like it. It's a very good pad. Cheap plastic, but it feels nice. It doesn't feel bad. Now, what I will say, if you're a D-pad player, its D-pad is not the greatest. Because, again, same problem with, like, some other pads is that it's not directional. They're not individual, but But for me, I never had a problem. It is really smooth on the hand, but what matters if it's not even, like, super good? But the analog stick is fine. The only problem I did notice, it has a lot of travel time, similar to the PS3 controller, but that's why I was so used to it. And another thing, you could even customize the buttons. There's a back button in the back. Heck, I could probably show it one day. And you can switch, like, make, you see how there's, like, square, triangle, R1? You can make it so that stays R1 or something, or make it be some other button. But it means that that L1 and R2, or L1, L2 now become like L3, R3. So, basically it's great if you're trying to do like training sessions and stuff, right? Like for you're in training stage. But super top tier controller, I would definitely put it in an S tier. It's a personal favorite of mine, maybe top A. So put it up here, and the Victrix down there. So yeah, let that sink in. And this is why I want to mention what this did right. The other one. Notice how you see right there. At first, it takes a while for you to not press R1 instead of triangle, but it wasn't that hard. The Victrix Pro, that controller's problem, hopefully I can find a good picture of it if it's in here. There we go, perfect. Yeah, like, so you guys see, there's a thing that makes you switch this out, right? And there could be 3. The triangle is way too low because I don't play like putting my hand down and using my 3 fingers. So I'll actually, there's no way for me to manually press triangle. And it's like, oh, what about the software? The software still doesn't work. So Victrix problem is like, so I can't even use the fighting game mode because I can't use the software to map the buttons the way I want to. Now we get into easily number 1, the top tier. So this is like, I would say number 2. PS4 pad and PS3 pad are fairly even. And it's funny. Here's the problem with the PS4 pad, I'll say. It is a better controller for fighting games than the PS3 one slightly, for me at least. But its comfort is nowhere near the same. Like the bottom edges of the PS4 controller, you see these right here, these little dildo looking shit. That shit digs into my hand and it really hurts. Like if you guys watch me play DJ Max, my hands hurt like a motherfucker. So, and number one should be no surprise to anyone. It's I think it's the Hori, right? Or the Hori Commander. Absolutely. Look, similar layout to the Mad Cats, but none of the problems. And you can map your buttons. Like it's the best of like everything. Its comfort isn't quite the level of the PS5, but I'd say it's fairly close. So yeah, that one's definitely my number one controller. I don't think they have it in here, oddly enough. This is like all pro controllers. Heck, I don't play enough pro controllers to really do a list. This, by the way, I love the back pedals. Adding back pedals to PS4 instantly shoots it up a wee bit. Back pedals are god tier. But yeah, that would have been my list. Sadly, we don't have the other ones here. So remember, we got the Mad Cats and the Hori and the Victrix Pro right down here. And that would be about it. You know, that's my tier list for fighting game controllers as an analog stick player. Well, controller, yeah. Yeah, that'll be it. Hopefully this gets trimmed a bit.